Hello and welcome to your Daily Cup of Football. James, we got all the crazy games out of the way, and today it was back to business as usual. Big teams did the business. That's what I mean.
That's
No
okay.
favorite was really troubled today. Denmark pushed a little bit by Czech Republic in the second half. England rampant against, as we expected, a rundown, out of gas Ukraine team. But for England, a straightforward knockout round at a major tournament win is an achievement in itself, given their history. We'll get into that when we talk about that game. But let's just start there, James. England, Ukraine. England in a second straight major tournament semifinal. I believe the only team in Europe to be in back-to-back. No one else from this four was in the 2018 semifinal. England now has done that. They are the highest ranked team remaining, for what that's worth. And they still have not conceded a goal. They won 4-0. They did exactly what we said they needed to do: get an early goal and kill the spirit of Ukraine, which they did through Harry Kane, who is finding his form at exactly the right time after not scoring in the first three games. He got one against Germany that sealed the game, and he got basically the two goals that ended this game. He got one in the 4th minute. For the rest of the half, England wasn't really troubled, but kind of was like, yeah, we'll just kind of hold this lead. Ukraine had I don't even want to call them moments. They had the ball and, did some stuff, but not really.
Well, Yaremchuk had the exact same chance Werner did and did the exact same thing.
Yeah, but both of those were hit right at Pickford, who saved them.
Yeah, but they might not have been, is what I'm saying. They could.
Okay, so that was the chance.
Oh, it's a chance. I mean,
yeah, not a great one. And then within 10 minutes in the second half, the game was over. Maguire finally scored a headed goal. I've seen so many he gets on the end of with his massive head and frame. He actually scored, and actually credit to Ian Dark, who literally called it as the goal was being scored. Harry Kane, he's a target on this one, and he scored. And then, or Harry Maguire, sorry. And then Harry Kane, also with a header. Luke Shaw turning into David Beckham with his assists, 3 in this tournament, with a nice move that ended with Kane nutmegging the goalkeeper with a header, which you don't see too often. But Harry Kane with 2 good strikers goals, and typical kind of Harry Kane goals. One was one touch, both were one touch, through ball. He just kind of stabbed it in on the first one, but had a little bit to do to lift it over the goalie. And then the header is just
got a scent for goal.
He's a world-class striker, and he's the best striker left in this tournament, arguably the best striker at the tournament.
I know Schick's gone now, so he's the best striker left in the tournament.
Get to Schick, yeah. Kane is getting to Schick's climbing up the goal scoring charts to try to get to Schick. And then Henderson came on as England made substitutions to get off guys who were on yellow cards. And he just scores his first international goal at the senior level, Henderson, on another set piece. So England added an element that they had at the World Cup, which was dangerous on set pieces. I believe against Sweden in the quarterfinal, Harry Maguire scored on a set piece, and I think they scored another. I think the other goal they scored in that game was a penalty. So they came into this game, not being good at creating chances. They score 4. It was against Ukraine, but I think the takeaway here is how straightforward it was, no issues. And now they've added this other element of set pieces, and that being a weapon. And I'm thinking, I'm not saying I'm looking past the semifinal, because Denmark is going to be a tough game. But if they're going to, in a final against a Spain or an Italy, where theoretically they're going to be probably sitting back, they're going to need set pieces. And I think that's a valuable asset that they use to get to 2018 semifinal. And I think they're a better team now. They're playing better. And it's set for England. I mean, they've looked up, along with Italy, the most complete team through this tournament. And you can say what you want about the road they've been on. They haven't played anybody really that tough. Germany's not the same Germany, but they've beaten everybody except Scotland, and they haven't conceded. So what was your takeaway? I was just kind of shocked by the whole just nonchalant, they blew them out, because they mentioned, now this is 5 years ago, but in the quarterfinal I guess it was round of 16. England took the lead against Iceland and ended up losing 2-1 in their most embarrassing defeat as an international
which
men's
I
team.
predicted.
I don't even remember. Sure.
I did.
Yes, you did predict. This time they took the lead and they ended up stomping out Ukraine in the second half. And I thought it was impressive. Yes, Ukraine was not on their level, but England proved that they're better, and they haven't always done that. So what was your takeaway from the game? Which
I'm just glad it turned out this way, because the first half was not good. You have the luxury of looking back on the 4-0 to say, oh, they killed him. But that's not what was happening in the first half. The first 4 minutes, I don't think Ukraine was playing. I don't did Ukraine even touch the ball before England scored?
It
Like,
doesn't.
I don't
I
think
can't
they did.
remember.
They
I don't
really
think
did.
so.
They were just moving yellow cones. They were doing this, and then England scored. And I think that kind of woke Ukraine up. Like, oh wait, if we lose this game, we're out. So they started playing, and I was honestly disappointed with the way England responded after they scored. Why are we letting Ukraine? I say we, but whatever. Why
Yeah.
are they letting Ukraine play? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. A bunch of Ukrainians are just like, oh, we'll just give them space, whatever. It was a bad plan, and Ukraine almost scored. Could have probably. I think Yaremchuk probably should have scored that chance. He would have probably backed himself, which is why he took the shot. That could have pegged him back. They were asking for it. It's not like Ukraine didn't have the quality to deliver quality chances, but England were asking for it, and it was pretty lethargic in possession. They were just passing around the back. They were playing like they were winning 3-0, 4-0. They were like, when they were Olaying in the 84th minute, they were doing the same thing that they were doing in the middle of the first half. It's like, okay, that's Luke Shaw to Maguire to Luke Shaw to Maguire to Stones to Maguire. It's like, ugh, so boring. Thank goodness. At halftime, Gareth Southgate, one word or two, it's Ukraine. That's all he said. He didn't need to say any more. Then they went up like, oh yeah, that's right. If we pressure these guys, they'll fold, because they're not that good. They're pretty good. They made it this far. Congratulations, Ukraine. Good tournament. Good tournament from Ukraine, I'd say.
Yeah.
But in the second half, they come out and like, oh, let's just punch them in the mouth 3 times, twice, really quickly in succession.
Yeah.
And they did it. It was like, I can't believe they didn't do that sooner. I don't know why you'd even leave it up to chance. They were pressing them. Ukraine didn't have another chance in that game to score. Not a good one.
True.
So I don't know why they didn't do that from the start. I'm glad they did it eventually. And they got what they should have gotten. They should have got those first 4 goals in the first half. They could have. So in the end, I'd have to say I'm pleased with what England showed, and I think they showed how much better they are than Ukraine, which is what they should have, which is what we thought they do and what they eventually did do. So I think they should keep that up. I don't think they should be allowing teams to just play. Like, stop doing that.
Yeah, I think
you have players that can run for days. Use that.
True.
They're not slow players. They do not lack stamina. So why would you allow teams to play?
I think one note, they started Jadon Sancho for the first time, and I thought he was pretty bright. I thought he had. I mean, it's Ukraine, but I thought he had he might have a shout to start.
So
the
he
next
does
game.
exist. That
I think
confirmed.
That he made a move to Man U, so because he plays for Man U now, they had to start him. That's the law. No,
I don't think he existed before. I've never. I
mean,
I've watched
had not
several
seen him.
games of him play.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Not of him. Like, Dortmund's been playing. Oh, Sancho's out. Like, I was beginning to suspect he didn't exist. And if he did exist, he wasn't English. But now we can confirm that Jadon Sancho does exist. And I mean, he is about as good as they say. He's good. I mean, he had a great Bundesliga season, involved in a lot of goals, assists, and goals. He didn't score assists today, but he was bright and taking people on and provided something different. But again, Sterling, who didn't score, set up the Kane goal, and then Kane almost scored the goal of the tournament on that volley on his left foot. That would have been something. Yeah. But Sancho started. The other thing, and you had mentioned this, I don't know if we were recording, or I think we were mentioning England's midfield. They don't like possess. They're not a team that dominates possession. And I think that's because, like you said, they don't have midfield technicians. Like, they have Rice and Phillips, which provide good cover and solidity in the midfield. So I don't know if they're just not like a game where they have to like kind of possess and play the game out. They only had 52% possession in this game. And I think that's kind of where they always are. I think the other thing that I think Southgate has talked about is kind of the managing of tournaments and
maybe at sometimes they take that too far in terms of how they're seemingly kind of grinding through instead of, like you're saying, running and pressing and just saying, you know what, Ukraine, you can have the ball there and we'll just kind of let you play. And I feel
but
like
in the first half, they weren't just having the ball there. Ukraine was
but
pressing.
It always felt like they were just keeping them, except for the Yaremchuk. I mean, I thought like, okay, they're asking for it. They probably shouldn't do this the whole game, but I didn't feel like England was ever really threatened to me. So I think in this game they did. I mean, I listened to another podcast, an athletic podcast, Totally Football Show, which is actually a good show. They were explaining, like, people were talking about the Belgium-Italy game and how it was the first half specifically was such an open game. And everyone's like, why can't every game be like this? Like, this is so exciting. Everyone's running and attacking. And then they said in the second half, we had muscle injuries. A guy's Achilles exploded. These players have gone through long, arduous seasons. So I think part of that kind of seeming like boring, grinding, lethargic England is also just managing a tournament, and it's not pretty.
Hold on.
Let me just finish. And then they had the little spurt where they got their goals and all that, and then it went back to like, oh, we're just going to see this game out. That's what I'll say. I don't know if that's an excuse or if it's.
Look, you don't do that at 1-0. A 1-0 lead is not enough.
I think against Ukraine you can. Against Denmark you cannot, because. And
don't make a habit of that.
No, I know.
Once you're winning 4-0, you could be as lethargic as you want, and that's exactly what they did. But at 1-0, I don't think it's a good idea.
I don't know. I think we can't at this point question Gareth Southgate very much. He's been the most successful English manager in years. He seems to know, how to get results for his team. Today they got the result and scored 4 goals. And so they basically doubled, I think, what they had. They equaled what they had. Didn't they have?
They doubled their goal tally. Well, they had 4 before, now they have 8.
Yeah, doubled, right. So they got as many as they had in the tournament up to this point in this game.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. They're going to play, we'll do Denmark, unless you had something else on this game specifically. No one picked up a yellow card.
Yeah, that was pretty good. See, Maguire doesn't have to be dirty. That just makes me dislike him even more. Like, he doesn't have to be. He just decides to be.
Yeah, I mean,
like when he dived at the end of the first half, that was just like, why?
That was just good. I like that.
Do the thing where you score headers. Like, just do that. Why do you have to be the guy that also falls over when someone touches your back?
No, but if that was like Chiellini or Bonucci, be like, oh, it's so good gamesmanship from the center back.
No,
so
I don't. I've been talking about that kind of diving before.
I know. It's part of the game. Just get over it. Okay. Anything else? Yeah, anything else? Game. Yeah. Anything else?
Like I said, all their goals came from the sides.
Well, that's where their strengths are.
That wasn't that wasn't some impressive prediction.
Yeah.
Also, another note, I guess, kind of spoilers we're about to talk about. There are only 3 games left. Will there be a direct set piece goal?
I don't think so, but it's hard to believe.
Get some statistician on there about when the last time that's happened.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think who's left that could score one. If
England could score one, they just haven't done it yet.
England could, but yeah. I mean, the other thing that England has at their disposal too, in terms of, you were talking about fitness and stuff, is they have a deep bench. I mean, they're bringing on Jordan Henderson, who was a starter in 2018. Marcus Rashford, just casually bring that guy off the bench. He could do something. Jude Bellingham is a young player who's got a lot of talent.
And is about 12.
And he's a young lad. He's like,
is he lying about how old he is?
He's born in like 2002 or 3 or something. No, not that old. Is he that young? I don't know. It's
he
crazy.
Is. He's 2004 or something.
It's not 2004.
2021. It's 2021, right? Or 2003. He just turned 18.
He just turned 18. That's true.
So it's 2003.
I believe it's 2003, which is shocking. But yeah. So they have depth, and I was like, they have options. Phil Foden didn't play. They started Mount, who had been out for a few games. He didn't have a great game, but they didn't really need him to. And they got Kane off with 20 minutes left, and so they got what they needed: an easy win. No one had to exert themselves. Denmark got a pretty easy win. They didn't have to go to extra time. I would say, other than Denmark's 4-0 in the round of 16, England's win over Ukraine was probably the most convincing of the knockout stages so far. Denmark wins 2-1 over the Czech Republic. And they were first half. They looked like Czech Republic, get off this field. What do you hear? Go away. Like we're going to the semifinal. Casper Dolberg, Thomas Delaney. Another set. This was a set piece, I believe.
The corner.
The
and
corner,
another early
right?
goal too.
Czech Republic, like, come on, you're supposed to be physically imposing here, and you're gonna give up a set piece goal. When that happened, I thought, all right, Czech Republic's not gonna have a good day here. Delaney, who's been, in there with Hoiberg or Hoiberg, I don't know if you're Derek Ray. How did he say it? But they took the lead early, yep, and then right at the end of the half, last 5 minutes, Casper Dolberg on the end of a great cross from Male outside of the foot, and also it was right in front of goal, but not an easy finish. It was basically a volley
especially if you're Spanish,
from Dolberg, and he's got now 3 goals in this tournament, and he kept his place in the lineup instead of Poulsen was available. He ended up coming on in the second half. Your boy Schick, he said, I'm not going down without one more moment, and he had a nice goal on a cross, got out of Kjaer's pocket, and now is joint top scorer with Ronaldo. And I'm just going to put Schick first because he only scored 1 penalty. Ronaldo had about 4, 3. So penalties. I put Schick number 1 right now. Ronaldo, you're number 2. I don't know exactly how UEFA ranks it, but Schick got a goal, and the Czech Republic were pushing, and they put up a fight. They had some moments, but
then they subbed Schick off. Once they subbed him off with like 15 to go, I'm like, okay, cool, you're not going to score, and they didn't.
Yeah. So Denmark, what was the plan there? Denmark, I don't know if it's hanging on at the end, but they were under more pressure, but they get the win, and I don't think it's a surprise. Did anything change in your idea of Denmark? Because Denmark has always, they scored again 2 goals. They've scored multiple goals in the last 3 games, I believe. So they didn't get a clean sheet, but they've only kept, I think, one clean sheet, right, against Wales. So I don't know. I think they did the job and they're going to move on. But what was anything change in your mind about Denmark?
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Czech Republic did a lot more against them than I thought they'd get away with. I thought it would be mostly just Denmark passing it around, but the Czech Republic was, even in the first half, after the first goal, Czech Republic looked almost most likely to score. Like they were pressing and getting good positions, but when you're so one-dimensional and only Schick can score for you, it kind of does hurt your ability to be successful in an important game. And then after they made it 2, I thought, well, maybe that's it. Then they brought it back, but I don't know. I think Czech Republic lacked the real cutting edge to either have someone else that's dangerous or feed it to Schick. Well, there was a couple of times where Schick got in a good position and the pass was just off, like the wrong direction. And he just looked at the guy like, what is that? So they couldn't get Schick involved enough. But yeah, I was expecting a little more from Denmark. Maybe they were feeling tired. They just put on the brakes a little bit.
I mean,
they backed their ability to just defend a lead, which I think is more forgivable for Denmark than it's for England because Denmark is not full of Premier League stars like England is. And Denmark also don't have a super deep bench like England does.
True.
So, and it worked out. I think they could have let this one slip. Yeah, I think they could have let this one slip, but they Czech Republic subbed off Schick. So
yeah, and I was looking
didn't
back.
Look like scoring after that.
I was looking back and I was like thinking like, has he scored every single goal for them in this tournament? And I think other than the opening goal against Netherlands, that was Holles. I think that was a free kick or second ball. He scored every other goal. They only scored 3 in the groups, 3 in the group stage, and then he scored 1 against Netherlands and then 1 today. So
yeah. And I think he should be top goal scorer. And in fact, I mean, I don't have the stats for it comparing him to Ronaldo, but I bet he's probably got more like dribbles, more passes completed, more touches in key areas. I would maybe I'm not positive that that's true, but I would suspect that those numbers are close. I think he looked really good. He had a good game.
Yeah, and he's definitely, his agent is excited and on the phone right now with Leverkusen saying we want a pay raise or we're gonna make a move. That's what happens in these tournaments.
Yeah, he's pretty good on the ball. I mean, he could probably go to a better team.
And yeah, I mean, I think he had more of an impact on Czech Republic's. If you take Czech Republic, or if you take him off Czech Republic, he had more of an impact than Ronaldo, because Ronaldo scored, but was kind of. Did he have a great tournament? No,
not really.
So, Czech Republic bows out.
Yeah, good performance from Czech Republic, I have to say.
Yeah, they did. They put up more of a fight than Ukraine did, and it's a successful tournament for them. I did not expect them to be in the quarterfinal. I didn't really expect them to necessarily advance. So yeah, and also Ukraine and Czech Republic, even though Ukraine ended badly, I mean, it's a successful tournament for them. But looking now at the Final Four, because we're not going to be able to record before these games, which are Tuesday and Wednesday next week, the 6th and the 7th. I think we have the 4 teams that need to be here. The only one of the 4 that I think you could say is fraudulent. Is this blasphemous to say fraudulent. Spain?
Wow.
Of the 4, I think England and Italy obviously have.
You mean it should be France? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I guess then in that case, no, because France kind of
should be Switzerland. Like, no.
I guess.
But you think it should be Switzerland?
No, I'm just thinking like I was gonna say all 4 teams. These are the right 4 teams that made it. But then my only hiccup was Spain, but they are here. So we'll start with the first game, which is Italy-Spain. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. I think Italy is the favorite. And while, Spain has the quality to possess the ball and they've scored goals, they seem to go back between scoring 10 goals in 2 games to can't score to save their life. And I don't think Italy's going to give them as many chances as these other teams have given them. And Italy has quality to break them down. I don't know. I'm interested to see how Italy does without Spinazzola, who ruptured his Achilles, which is a terrible injury, and it's very sad because he was having a great tournament. I don't think it's going to be devastating for them. It's not like they're going to now, I'm worried about the game. I think Italy can win, and I think they could win in regular time. I think they're more just solid and professional team right now in terms of their cohesion and the team they can put out. Spain, they're here. They made the semifinal with a team that's kind of not even in between generations. This is kind of a new kind of group. So it's a massive test for them. I don't know how they're going to approach it. It's their toughest test for Spain. Like Italy's toughest test was Belgium. Spain, they haven't against a really quality team. So do you see any, because I struggle to see any scenario that Spain comes out on top that's not an extra time, like really tight game. But Italy has been pretty, I mean, you can't have barely put a foot wrong in this tournament.
Yeah, it's hard to see because they're not going to be playing a leaky defense, so they won't be able to get 10 chances. So how are they going to score? They need 10 chances to score 1 goal, and that, I mean, it was this last goal. This last game, they didn't even get a real goal. It was a deflection, and it was actually a deflection came off of what they should have been doing this whole time, which is just swinging at it, sometimes at least, putting in the mixer and see what happens. Anyway, yeah. But anyways, I don't see Italy being as leaky as any of the teams that Spain's played so far, and I don't see like Morata, Gerard Moreno. Both of them have been poor. As to maybe Moreno's not lived up to his expectations, and then Morata, we didn't have very high expectations, and he's lived up to that. So, but both have not been very good. And are they really going to pose more of a threat than Lukaku? It's hard to see that. So, yeah, I don't know where the goal is going to come from. It's not going to be set pieces, or it could be, but that's unlikely too. It's like, I mean, they've got so many free headers that they've just missed in a pretty pathetic fashion. Coupled with the fact that Italy have been good on set pieces this tournament, it's not looking good for Spain. As much as I like them, I have this flag. I so graciously spelled it wrong. This is backwards S. I think this might be the end of the road.
I think so too. But I think Yeah, I think though they've not embarrassed themselves. They haven't played great, but they're still in the semifinal, which is still an accomplishment. They haven't made a semifinal, I believe, since 2012 when they made the final and then played Italy and won. I think the question for me I was going to ask you is what's Spain's possession percentage going to be? Because Italy, I think, has been the team that's had possession, won the possession, which doesn't end up mattering, but usually Spain has usually had at least 60, I would say, probably in most of their games.
It's been 70, hasn't it?
Do you see a scenario where, because I think Spain will still have more of the ball, just because even if it's just kind of how it's gone. But do you see a scenario where Italy, because I see Italy kind of doing the thing where they kind of sit back, but then at times will push and press some of those guys who've been kind of shaky back there and create chances in Spain's half. Not sitting back as maybe Italy teams of old have done, of just defending and just going for a 1-0 win. I don't see them like taking the game in terms of like possession to Spain, but they could still control the game by Spain. You can have the ball and do your sideways passing, and then when the time's right, we're going to press them. Or are Italy just going to come out and just dominate them? I don't know about that, but I'm just interested in see how two teams that both in all their games have been the ones setting the, terms, if you will, with the ball tempo.
Yeah.
How that plays out. Because I still think Spain will, just because that's just how they've, how they are.
Yeah.
And they make more of an effort of like doing that above everything else than I think Italy has.
Yeah, I think it depends on when and if the goals come. So if Italy scores, then I totally see them kind of just accepting, soaking up the pressure, and probably not giving up many chances at all, if any. I could see them doing that and then hitting them on the break, maybe trying to get a couple more. But I don't know if it goes for prolonged period 0-0. If Spain scores, Spain takes the lead. I mean, Spain is not gonna. They're not gonna park the bus. They don't really do that.
They don't know how, as we've seen. They couldn't see out, the Croatia game. They gave that away.
They're not capable of
against Poland. They conceded. Like they only kept the clean sheet against Sweden. Wasn't it just Sweden and Slovakia?
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah,
you'd think they're going to concede a goal. Like if Spain gets a clean sheet, I would be shocked. And if they got a clean sheet, they might.
That'd be quite the performance. Yeah.
But they haven't shown they can do that, and they may not. They just don't. Yeah, I don't think they have the quality, or it looks like the organization. And Italy has both of that.
Yeah,
both of those things.
Yeah, I think Spain will end up with more of the ball. I think their game plan is going to be to make sure Italy can't hurt them
by just keeping the ball.
Yeah, just keeping the ball away. Like,
I just see Italy has been good about creating turnovers, and Spain, I can see them just playing into that, while trying to play out of the back, trying to play through the middle. Verratti just hassling and just all over, Pedri and Busquets and creating just problems. And
it only takes one foot in. You can miss 50 trying to break it up. It only takes one in a good position and you've got a goal. So, I mean, Spain, even when they're not even playing a great team, have given up possession in bad areas and caused goals. That's how they conceded against Switzerland. Yeah. And that's kind of how these other games have gone with like Croatia. They've conceded three against Croatia. So yeah, I think Italy could I don't know how Spain will respond to like a lot of pressure being put on them from a team that's actually got a lot of technical quality in Italy. So I don't know. It's hard to see a Spanish victory. I don't know. My Spanish eyes they're not seeing it. I like Spain, but they haven't shown enough. They haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also am interested to see, because I was looking at all the quarterfinals, there were goals in the first half, and some of them were very early. In 3 of the games, there were goals in the first 10 minutes. I tend to think we're not going to really see that in the semifinals. I think as tournaments go on, usually the games get cagier. I mean, the World Cup final was kind of you don't usually see 6 goals in a final, but usually they're tight. So if this game is tight, I would not be shocked. But I don't see Spain being able to play this cagey game. It seems like they might want to shoot out. Like that's when they've been like the 5-3, 5-0, but I just don't see Italy conceding more than 2 goals. And I can see Italy scoring 2. So again, maybe we're just underselling Spain, and this is where they have their moment of this young team. Pedri becomes the new, I don't know, Iniesta, and Morata channels the inner Fernando Torres and Villa inside of him, and they have a moment. But I feel like this is Italy's moment, and Italy is going to win this game and go to the final, which it would be well deserved because they've been the best team in this tournament and impressive. So I don't think we expected them to be this good. They missed the World Cup. They missed the 2018 World Cup, and now they're on the brink of a final, which shows just how bad whoever was running things back into for them. It was not Roberto Mancini, and he's going to be the coach for a while. He actually signed an extension like through 2020, at least 2022, 2026, and it looks like the right move.
I mean, if they get knocked out in the next group stage, he's gone. So.
But it looks like Italy's here.
I know. I'm just saying the whole signing a huge contract thing as a coach is meaningless.
Yeah.
So.
And maybe some club teams are like, hey, Roberto, want to come back to the Premier League? He's a Premier League winner. So whoever faces the winner of Spain, Italy, or the winner of Spain, Italy plays the winner of England, Denmark on Wednesday. England on the brink of making their first, for the men's side, making their first international final, first time since 1966, which was also at home. The semifinals are in Wembley. The final will be in Wembley. There's going to be 60,000 allowed in the semifinal or semifinals, I guess. So it's going to be an England home game. Denmark seems to be having, the summer of, just taking a horrible situation and turning it into their best performance since they, I think, won the Euros in 1992. They were talking about these teams playing each other in the Nations League recently. Now, those are all with the caveat that Christian Eriksen was involved, and he scored the winning goal when Denmark won in England, and then England tied in Copenhagen. I'm interested because we're talking about technicians and England not having them. Denmark has them. Delaney and Højbjerg will see Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice and think, we can possess the ball in here. Now, England will look at the wings and say, Vestergaard out there as the left-sided of a 3-man back. Let's just stick Jadon Sancho out there and see what happens. So I'm interested. I feel like this could be a kind of an end-to-end game because Denmark has scored goals. England's been solid. I think England might concede in this game. And I think they were talking about Harry Maguire in a quote before this Ukraine game saying, we haven't been really had to come back yet. We haven't been behind. I think this is a game where they might be in a situation where they're behind because Denmark has come out of the blocks pretty fast in these games. I think the scoreless streak ends for England in this game,
which is a good thing.
Which might be a good game.
If they advance, conceding in this game is probably going to be a good thing. You don't want to concede your first goal if you're going to concede in the final.
Or you just don't concede at all. I just don't see that happening.
But I'm saying if you're going to concede a goal, you don't want your first conceded goal to be in the final.
The question is how they respond to that because they've been in control through most of this tournament. There hasn't been really a moment. I guess the Germany game was the closest they got to being on the edge of blowing it or kind of falling apart. Denmark's going to put them under pressure. Denmark for that first half looked dangerous. They could have had more goals. I think England has the ability to deal with it. I just think Denmark has proven that they can score, and I think they will. I don't know. I think England's obviously the favorite. They're at home. They've not conceded, and they have better players. Right. And that's not unfair to Denmark. But it's might be England's toughest game. I think Denmark is better, at least in this tournament, has been better than Germany and might cause more problems and might be more clinical than Germany has been. So I'm not sure how to how this is going to go. I want to believe that England could. I think England's going to be on the kind of I think Denmark's going to have more of the ball, and then England's going to be on the counter. And I think set pieces are going to be probably important. I would not be shocked if this one goes to extra time. I'm not sure what you think about this. I'm just thinking of, I think the strength for England, like you said, is on the wings. And then the strength, I think, for Denmark is in the middle in terms of Højbjerg has been good and Delaney's been good. Kjær is in the middle. I mean, I'm not sure if that translates how I'm thinking, like that England's going to sit back. But what's your... I think this one's almost more interesting than Spain and Italy, because I think Italy's clearly better. And even though I think England's clearly better, I think Denmark has more of a plan and more of a, they've played better than Spain, even though Spain might have more quality, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I think if Denmark has more of the ball, that favors England. I don't think they like having the ball. They don't know what to do. They're like, they always look better when, like in this game, when like maybe Ukraine would pick out a pass and then their players would move forward and then England would immediately win it back. That's when they had the most success. And I think not having the ball is going to be a good thing for them. Maybe not in terms of, I mean, in terms of their ability to attack, because then I don't know, just the passing around the back, that doesn't seem to work very well for them. If the team like actually has belief that they can actually win, if they haven't already been defeated, it's not 3-0 already. But I think for Denmark, the key is about how Højbjerg does. I think he's been their best player throughout this whole tournament, and if he has an influential game, I think Denmark has a shot. But I think this is what Calvin Phillips and Rice are for, to stop this from happening. And I think the two people should be enough to stop one as it is. But two people with the quality that Rice and Phillips clearly have at keeping things together, keeping it solid in front of, keeping their backline protected, I think they should be able to neutralize the threat, the attacking threat at least, from Denmark. So, I mean, I like Denmark. I don't want to see them fail, but I think this is going to be the time.
Well,
I think it's going to be crosses, some kind of. I don't think it's going to be some pretty goal. I think it's going to be off a set piece or a corner, but those are goals too. So, I still see England winning this game.
Yeah, and I mean, Denmark is a pretty talk about set pieces. They have a pretty physically imposing team, but England does too. England's got some big lads at the back, even through the middle. Declan Rice and Phillips are not, pushovers in there. And I think a big thing for Denmark, and it's not a failure if they go out here, it's been a resounding success. You can't say anything about, I mean, everything since the round of 16 is a bone. I mean, actually, even the group stage, they're the first team, I think they were saying, to make it to the knockout stages after losing the first two games. And that's due to the format, but they did what they had to do. And this is a chance for them to really make this like the iconic tournament run like of ever if they make the final. I know they won in 92, but this would top that in terms of the moment, what it's meant. It's so sad that it's a great that Christian Eriksen is alive and doing well, but it is sad that he's not a part of this, because he's been the guy for them for the last 10 years. And I'm sure he's, they're communicating with him and they're thinking of him as they're playing, but they could use his quality in this game. I mean, I know he's the one, every time they were talking about him, it seems like they talk about a game. Oh, Denmark played this team back in 2019 and the goal scorers were Eriksen. So they've done well to make up for that. The Damsgaard has been good. This little, random Dane guy who's probably himself going to get a move after this tournament. I think they rely a lot on momentum. And if they get the momentum, early goal kind of thing, that's when England is in trouble. England has to ride that out. Because I could see a scenario where, much like England got 2 quick goals on Ukraine, Denmark gets 1, England starts a little shaky,
The fans' turn.
That's the thing. Like, it's a home game, but even Stuart Robson, I think, or maybe it was, I don't know, someone, it was McManaman, I don't know, saying like sometimes at Wembley when the team isn't doing as well against, a team the fans think they should be winning against, can get a little antsy. And it's obviously they'd rather be playing this game here than in Copenhagen. Because if this was in Copenhagen, I would just pick Denmark just straight up. Because I feel like no one other than Belgium, that one was close too, to go into there would be crazy. So it's an advantage for England. But I'm just saying, I think the part for England is don't let Denmark get momentum in this game. Because when they get momentum, they destroyed Russia. They destroyed Wales. They got, started early against today against Czech Republic. I feel like in the last 3 games, they've scored in the first half. Right? I mean, against Russia, they did.
Yes.
Against
last 4 games.
Oh, true.
In the first half against Belgium.
So
in all their games that they've scored, it's been in the first half.
And I think Southgate has proven that he's no dummy. He's going to be, I think England, if they get through the first, I don't think it's a terrible thing for England if it's 0-0 at halftime. Because you got to take the air out of this Denmark run. If Denmark scores early, then we're really going to see what England has.
Yep.
If it's 0-0 or England gets a goal in the first half, that's what you need to do to poke a hole in this euphoria. So I just think I'm almost more interested in this game just because I think I know what's going to happen in Italy, Spain. I just think Italy has too much and Spain is going to either kind of unravel under it or Italy's just going to break them down. I'm more confident in Italy than England because Denmark, for me, poses more of a threat than Spain does. And I know maybe that's insane because you look at the players on either team and the transfer fees and you're like, Spain is Spain. But that's not really how it works at the international level all the time. You need cohesion. You need momentum. And Denmark has momentum, but so does England. England is not coming into this game with any, who's going to start? Are we playing badly? Everyone is on board with this team, and this team is on the way to possibly. This is the exciting part because the teams who are involved haven't been in finals in a while, other than I guess Spain. Spain at least 2 tournaments ago. But on the England-Denmark side, both these teams have a chance to make major history by making this final, and that's exciting. And I think because the 4 teams are all good, we will not get a bad final. There's not a scenario, I don't think, where we get a bad final. Or am I overlooking a matchup?
No, I don't think so.
What's your favorite matchup? Or what were you going to say first?
Favorite as in the one I want to happen or the one that would be the best game?
I mean, you could do, maybe that's the same answer for you. But if it's 2, go ahead and give me 2 different ones. You're the one you want and the one that's the best.
I don't know. I think Denmark have come too far for me to withdraw my support from them now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know. I support us English speakers, but I don't know, something about the fact that I shouldn't say this, but the matchups that they've gotten to get them to the semifinal that they got to in 2018 and this final, it just feels cheap to me.
For England?
For England. Yeah. Oh. For them to claim, oh, look at this, we're doing all this. It bothers me that, yeah, okay, you played Sweden and then you played, I don't even remember. We talked about this before and I've already forgotten who they played. Oh, Colombia. Wow. Yeah. Okay, great. And then you lost to Croatia, but then now you play a toothless Germany and then the worst team in the quarterfinals. And now they're going to have their shot. It's like, I don't know. Something about that doesn't feel deserved. You know, they didn't seem to work for it, which isn't how it works in terms of like when you're counting trophies and stuff. That's not how that works.
But in 50 years looking back, no one is going to say it was a cheap Euro, right?
Yeah. No one should say that 50 years from now. That's something you say after the tournament. But that's what my gut is feeling. Like I kind of want Denmark to win so that England can't have this. You know what I'm saying? Like I want them to earn it. I want them to have to play Belgium in the quarterfinal, Spain in the semifinal.
Well, that's Italy.
Yes. We are England. We are good. We can beat all the good teams. We don't need someone else to take out the good teams, so we can come clean up afterwards. That's That's what I want.
So then what the matchup you want is Denmark against Italy, then, or is it Denmark Spain?
I think it might be. I mean, I like Italy, but I think I like Spain a little more. I kind of want them to succeed because I think to beat Italy, they'd have to show us something really special.
Yeah.
So if they do win, then that would be a great win. I don't see them like fluking.
So you want Denmark Spain. Is
Yeah.
that the best matchup?
No, I think Italy England probably be the best matchup. Yeah.
I think first of all, if I'm taking, I'm still probably going to support England in this game, just because I like England a lot, but I'm not going to be actively dancing on Denmark if they lose. It's not going to be like when England beat Germany, I was loving it. When they beat Ukraine, I was loving it. Get out of here, Shevchenko, with your tie and your whatever. Just get out of here.
He looks good.
Yeah, great. Get out of this tournament. You let us down. You let Efan Akoku down. Get out of here. Okay. But if the English like take on your thing of like this, they didn't beat anybody. Denmark didn't really beat anybody to get here either. I know
Denmark's
it's
not England.
I know, but I'm
It's
just
not the
saying.
same.
I'm just saying. And for England to win the tournament, they're going to have to beat a good team. Now they're not going to have to beat the teams to get there, but if it's who I think it is, Italy, and they beat Italy, it would be pretty. I think that.
Yeah, I mean, but the getting there should be as difficult as the final.
I
Or
guess
not
I
should
don't.
be, but
I don't
is
really
usually.
agree with it. I don't
Yeah.
agree with it because it's just. I mean, it's random. I don't. What are they supposed to do about it?
They can't. No, all they have to do,
And-
that's not something the team should be saying. That's not something the coach should be saying. That's something that I can say only.
Okay.
'Cause
So
I'm not part of the squad.
I'll answer my. I think it's the same for me. The two, the one I want and the one that I think would be the best, and also maybe the best like in terms of the matchup just historically, and also because the game might be kind of cagey, whatever the matchup is, if England's involved. I want England, Italy, because Italy through this tournament, I think I want them more than Spain to advance. I know I usually support Spain, but I've watched all these games, and Italy has given me more joy than Spain.
Yeah.
And maybe Spain, in 2022, all these guys will be older a little bit and have more experience and be better. But I want Italy to be rewarded for giving us good soccer, great goals. They deserve a day at Wembley. So that's why, and nothing against Spain, but I'd be a little disappointed if Italy doesn't get a final. So England, Italy, I think it's a matchup worthy of a final.
Yeah.
I mean, Italy has the history. England wants the history. England thinks they have history. They just have passion and like the best league in the world that has, given Italians and Spanish players a good place to get better, to beat England in major tournaments. But I think England in a final would be just, I don't know what the English fans who
that's another element is that the atmosphere. If England's not involved, then I don't think the atmosphere is as good.
Yeah, I think
it does. That's true.
I think England, Italy, the fans for Italy will show up. The anthem will be great at Wembley. The English anthem will be, even though the England song isn't as good as the Italian anthem, it's like 10 seconds long. Like, can we get a second verse or something? I don't know. But just the pageantry of the game, the narrative of like England, are they going to win a tournament? And just the crowd, I can already picture the crowd shots of the English people who can't really believe they're in this game, either winning or losing, crying, whatever happens. So
I've missed the shaky cam.
The shaky cam will be in full effect.
I love the shaky cam.
So if you love a shaky cam and celebrating, England, Italy is your matchup. Having said that, Denmark, Italy would be interesting. Spain, England. I mean, that one, I think England probably wants Spain to win if I was England.
Yeah.
I want England to win. I like the team. I like the guys. They have a good mix of, even your boy Connor Cody, a Wolves player, might win a trophy, James.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be in the squad.
Come
I don't know why he's there. He's not
he's
good.
there to keep the.
I think it's because they needed more Scouts players. They were like, we don't have Scouts guys. Let's bring another one.
I like Rashford. I like Kane. I like Shaw, and for them to be the guys to bring England trophy, they'll be legends, literally legends, because it like never happens for the English for England.
Unless this is the beginning of English dominance for the next 15
James,
years.
don't say this, but because the fans are probably thinking that in the pubs, that's what they're saying, James.
2022, 2024, 2026, all England victories, like it's Football Manager.
Well, no, 2026 is when Christian Pulisic and Gio Reyna end the English reign. Someone was putting up on the
2026, 1776.
No. Yeah, they were saying we'll play England. We'll end them in a semifinal on July 4th, 2026, and like we'll play it in Philadelphia, just like we played some of those battles back in the day. God. But this time we'll be on the front foot, not them. It won't be a smash and grab win. It'll be swaggering.
Okay, yeah. Talk
about I can't wait. I can't wait. 2022 World Cup is shrouded in some issues in terms of human rights, and the tournament should not
to mention its time when it's going to be.
Should not be played in Qatar and should not be played in November. But having said that, I cannot wait for hopefully the U.S. being involved.
Yeah, we haven't played a single qualifier. Let's just.
Oh boy, James, I can't even wait for the qualifiers.
We're getting distracted.
Bring me the qualifiers. I'm just imagining it.
Yes. Stop.
And then Italy will be there. England. Denmark. I guess Belgium will still be there.
Christian Eriksen will be there.
Oh, Christian Eriksen.
He probably will. Daley Blind does the same thing that he does.
I was hoping. I don't know. Maybe they'll. I was hoping, and I mean, who knows what is? They're saying he's doing better, but I was like waiting. Like, are they going to do one of those like pre-game? He like shows up and the crowd goes crazy or something. I'm still waiting for it. Maybe it'll happen.
Copenhagen, so
I know that's what
maybe he's going to do the trophy presentation if Denmark wins.
That would be crazy. And we'll see. I would not be upset whoever wins this tournament. Basically, like if Spain ends up winning, do
it in a good way. I don't want like some cheap.
But whoever does it is going to have to. Whoever the opponent is, they're going to have to earn it. There's not going to be any. Like if Croatia had won it in 2018, I would be a little disappointed. Like, of the 4 teams that were left, it was France, Belgium, England, Croatia. Croatia was the one team I'd been like, nah, come on, Croatia, no. But Denmark, Italy, England, Spain, I'll be happy for whoever wins.
Yeah.
And if it's England, you thought the scenes were intense against Germany. Oh boy.
Yeah, if it's England, look out because some beer might spill on you.
There's going to be beer flowing everywhere.
Just everywhere. Yeah.
I'm excited, James. I got myself excited. So hopefully, hopefully everyone else is excited for these games. I'll say it again. Italy, Spain, noon Pacific time on July 6th. That's a Tuesday. Then England, Denmark, noon Pacific time on July 7th. It's a Wednesday. The final will be July 11th. That's a Sunday. I believe there is no third place game.
Noon, right? It'll be noon. Yeah.
The final will be noon.
Good. No third place game.
No third place game.
Right? Finally, about time. We never watch third place games.
Yeah, not usually because
I don't actually. I think I remember in 2014 it wasn't because we didn't want to. I think we were busy.
Not able to. I think so.
Not able to. And I think it was the same in 2018 too. I don't remember watching that game.
2018. I don't remember either.
I don't remember watching that game.
England lost to Belgium in that one.
I do have one more thing to add.
Yeah, go for it.
This is just a little factoid that I was doing math in my brain. And remember you were talking about Denmark was the first team to advance after losing their first 2 games?
Yeah.
Yeah. You credited the third place system. But that's not why they would have made it if it was the normal system.
Oh, they got
finished
second.
No, hold on. They finished second because of what's the word? The winner, what do you call that? Head-to-head. But if it was normal goal difference, they still would have made it. They had enough goals. And Finland got killed and so did Russia.
You're right, James.
So they would have made, if this was a normal World Cup, they would have made it. So I
think
more
impressive.
I know people keep crediting the third place system for this. Like they said it in the broadcast. It was like, oh, because of the new system. It's like, no, it's not. Look at the math, guys. They would have made it anyways. So
let me consult the math.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, they had the second best goal differential in the group.
Yeah.
And they had even on points.
Yeah, so they would have gone through if this was 2 teams only.
Wow. So there you go, James. Good point.
It's mathematically possible.
It's also mathematically possible to lose or to win 2 games and not make it in a World Cup system.
Yep.
That's the only good thing about, or the only positive about this World Cup is it's the last one in the glorious 32 team format.
How many's in 2026?
48.
What is there, a round of 32?
There's going to be like, I think we're getting way ahead of ourselves. We're like 4 tournaments away from that. There's going to be groups of 3. 12 or something like that. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. I'm not sure.
And the podcast, David. I have choice words.
But it'll be in the USA.
That's horrible.
That's going to be our moment.
No, it's not. They're going to fail.
Our moment's going to be 2023 when the women go for the 3-peat. How about that, James?
Just hand the trophy over now. I want the next 6 trophies. Just bring them in.
We'll talk your terms of surrender.
Back them in. Yeah.
Terms of surrender.
No, I don't know why the countries show up. Like, what is this? Pathetic display.
So we'll go for the men's and women's double in 2026.
Sure.
I wish. The men just can't get it together. So anyway, I'm excited, James. We'll be back. We're not going to be back to talk to you for a while. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. You'll have to wait till Thursday, I believe. Maybe Friday. I don't know.
And we'll be talking about Peru's final too.
Oh. By the way, Colombia beat Uruguay in penalties, James. I was watching that game.
Wow.
It's in the quarterfinals.
Argentina?
Argentina plays at 6, so we don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah, there's gonna be the Copa America final is gonna be coming up too, but yeah, we'll talk about all that next time we see you all. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, James, for being with me, and we'll see everyone next week.